Hey RogueTech fans, it's Blaine here again. Today I'm going to go across the Argo. This is a completed Argo, so it doesn't really help anyone, but you can see we're split into the 4 different sections: system and support, commands control, combat and deployment, and personal and medical. To get to this stage doesn't actually take that long. It's about 114 weeks after you start your career to complete everything, but the question is, which order should they be completed in? So I'm going to go back to basics and show you some ideas of where I think it's important to actually move and how it could potentially help you, especially in your early career. Here it is, a newly recovered Argo. It's barely better than a derelict. Atmosphere is venting all over the ship, nothing much works, the electrics are fried, the structure is in a bad state, but it's home! At this stage there are plenty of options to upgrade, and many more that are locked, requiring other repairs to be completed first. For new players especially, the Argo engineering screen can be a little daunting, so where do you start? What should you prioritise? Mech bay, morale, habitats? Well, here's my guide to the Argo and where I personally think it's best to start. So let's start with a quick overview of each section to familiarise ourselves with the ship. First of all, we have the systems and support. This is split into 4 sections: power systems, structure, drive system, and habitat pods. The power system upgrades are there to give enough juice just to switch on and repair a whole range of other upgrades. As you upgrade these, you also gain a tech point for each and improve morale. Hell, no one likes living in space with only emergency lighting. Next we have the structure section. Here you have 2 structural repair upgrades that only act as a means to unlock other ship sections, and there are also 3 storage space upgrades, which together will reduce your monthly storage cost by 15%. Travelling time can be really slow at first. The drive system upgrades greatly reduce the time it takes to get from a planet to the jump point. In fact, I tend not to travel at all until I have at least the first 2 of these upgrades completed. Your pilots and other crew have to live somewhere, so we have the habitat pods. When you first get the Argo, you're limited to just 8 pilots. Each additional pod increases your barracks by a further 8 pilots, plus it reduces the time before affinities can decay by 10 days per pod. So moving on to the command and control section, this is split into 3 different areas: drop size, tank storage, and drop tonnage. This entire section is all about repairing your dropship, a Leopard you picked up from a junkyard. Dropside upgrades provide capacity for 2 extra battle armors and 4 additional mechs or tanks to be dropped into battle. You also gain an additional tech point for the first upgrade. The tanks and storage section further reduces your monthly storage costs by another 10% and lets you drop 2 more vehicles. In total, when combined with drop size, you will eventually be able to drop up to 8 mechs and up to 12 vehicles, although 8 of those slots are shared with mechs. Plus, you can drop up to 4 additional battle armors to complete your lance. All of the drop tonnage sections is purely about the Leopard's engine. Every time you upgrade it, the Leopard can carry an additional 50 tons. Once completed, you will be able to transport up to 820 tons of mechs, vehicles, and battle armor into the battle. Next we have the combat and deployment section. This is split into both mech bays, repair and refit, and training modules. Each additional mech bay increases the number of mechs you can have ready to drop by 6. It gives you an additional tech point and enables an additional repair bay to go online, allowing up to 3 mechs to be worked on at once. When first online though, the additional bays operate at a reduced rate until further upgraded. Repair and refit, once completed, will give your company an extra 8 tech points and enable both repair bays to become fully operational. The training modules next, these are really useful. Each one enables pilots, up to a set maximum experience, to gain additional passive experience points every single day. The modules also protect affinities from decaying at maximum, and your pilots can then protect up to 40 points of affinities each from any loss. Now we move to the final section, personnel and medical. This is split into 2 parts: med bays and recreation. By upgrading your med bays, you increase your company's medical points and protect your pilots from incapacitating and lethal damage. These are by far the most expensive upgrades on the ship, but then you can't function if your pilots are dead or injured. The final section we have is recreation. This is often overlooked until later on, but there are some really useful and fairly cheap upgrades here. There's the 2 library upgrades and the low G pool, which give you a lot of bonuses. So now we've gone over the ship, which order of upgrades would work best? This is largely personal choice, but I do believe there is a pathway at the start that will give you the biggest initial boost when starting a new career. My first priority is to get the beta pod up online. You need pilots, but at first you're limited to just 8. This beta pod will double the number to 16. However, before you can repair it, you first need to complete first the power system and the first structural repairs. 35 days into your career and you'll have this unlocked. Once completed, these 3 initial upgrades also unlock a whole bunch of other options. The next priority for me is head over to training modules. I would go and upgrade the first 2 of these, and once done, you find that your pilots will gain a huge amount of passive experience and have their first 10 points of affinities protected. Next I move on over to recreation, where I upgrade both of the libraries. By the time you've had these 2 completed, you will gain +4 morale, +3 tech points and +2 medical points. After these 2, I go and give my crew their low G pool for another +3 morale and +1 medical point. Just watch out for some late night skinny dipping in the pool. By this stage, around 15 weeks into a new career, I'm just about ready to start thinking about more additional mechs and getting them repaired and refit. So my next choice after those top priorities is to head over to combat and deployment and get my second mech bay online, increasing ready mech capacity by 6 and giving me a second repair bay operating at 50%. Over in repair and refit, this has now unlocked automation. This is a really quick upgrade which gives you an additional checkpoint and, most importantly, boosts your second repair bay to 100% efficiency. At this point, I always figure you're in a good position to move forward with your career. You've repaired the essential basics with the rest ready to go. Many players head straight to drop size and tonnage when they start rebuilding their Argo, but personally, I've never found I need to touch these until around half a year in. This initial guide will have left you at just under 18 weeks into your career. I hope this has helped all of you new and even existing players think about the direction with which to go when starting out. If you like my tutorials, please like, subscribe, and I hope to see you on the battlefield.